Hello, good afternoon, Tuscaloosa and internet world. Welcome in. This is the Joe Gaither Show right here on BamaCentral.com, a part of the Bama Central Broadcasting Network. I'm Joe Gaither. You're watching me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You're listening to me on Spotify or Apple Music, any place that you find your podcast. Thank you guys so much for jumping in and joining us. I hope your Friday's going well. We've had a fun week here on the Joe Gaither Show. The end of 3 weeks. Woohoo! We've had a fun 3 weeks. I appreciate everybody who's jumped on and joined us in the last couple of weeks. We had Coach Ronnie Cottrell join us from Mobile Christian High School earlier in the week, and we had Blake Byler join us yesterday to talk about Alabama basketball. Today, I am excited. I am over the moon excited because we get to talk to local high school superstar Will Sanders. Joins us from Brookwood High School. Will Sanders is a class of 2024 offensive lineman out of Brookwood High School, about 20 minutes away from where I am right now. And I want to talk to Will about really the Panthers, about his time playing high school football, and he is on every recruiting radar that there is. So let's find out how he's feeling 12 months away from going into college, and he's going to be a big time prospect. Without further ado, Will, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you carving out some of your some time on a busy Friday.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, you sound great. You look great. Will, let's just kick it off with talking about Brookwood. Let's talk about Brookwood real quick, and then we'll get to know you a little bit, if you don't mind, and then we'll transition from there into college football and how you're feeling about some college football decisions and different schools that you've seen.
Yes, sir.
Will, you go to Brookwood High School, about 20 minutes away from us, 6A school, and you're going into your senior year. And so I've been around Tuscaloosa high school football for the last 3 years, since you were a freshman. I started my media career fall of 19, basically. And so I've seen Brookwood go from the COVID year that didn't have much success, and then last year winning 3 games, and then this past year winning 4 games. I think I got that out of order, 0 to 3 to 4. And so you've been a leader on the Brookwood team that's kind of been rebuilding under head coach Mike Bramwood. How's it? What's the atmosphere around Brookwood? And just tell the people who don't have a clue where Brookwood is outside of the mining area. Well, just tell people about the city of Brookwood.
So city of Brookwood is not super big place, not a super big place. About 20 minutes outside of the city, Tuscaloosa, and it's not a hard commute coming from there to Tuscaloosa whenever we have to. But the past 3 years that I've been there, it's been some rocky moments, but I feel like the atmosphere and the characteristic that people have placed with Brookwood is slowly but surely changing. The vibe that we want to convey to each other, to our coaches, to our school is definitely heading in the right direction. I believe going 1-9 and then going 3-7 and then 4 and 6. I feel like that's a great way to notice the way we're moving. And of course, we're like any other team. We have our ups and downs, our good days and bad days. But I feel like people see our bad days and stick those days with our past. But quite frankly, our bad days are what's making us want to be better, or what's making us want to reach that next goal, that next step.
Absolutely. My cousin chiming in, this man turned this program around. You have been a huge part of the program turnaround. I remember being out there 3 years ago and saying, who is this offensive lineman and why isn't he on the field? Why isn't he like big time out there yet? And you really were. People said, oh, he's just a freshman. Wait, he's going to get out there. And so now you're listed 6'3", I had a 6'3", 290, according to our friends at 24/7 Sports. And so you are a big time player for Brookwood this coming up year. What do you like about Mike Bramwood, and what does he bring to the Brookwood Panthers that you can really take into your own game and really carry forward?
Coach Bramwood is a very real optimistic guy, and I feel like he's always shooting straight. He's always been in our corner, always battled for us. I feel like that's a great way to convey, not convey, but take that to my gang. Always battling for my teammates, always being in there, always having their backs, always being straightforward with them. But most importantly, that optimism, that refreshing sense of optimism that no matter our past, why not us? Why can't we go out there and win that whole thing? Why can't we go out there and beat Hillcrest? Why can't we go out there and beat these teams that no one thought we were going to beat? Why not us? And, that was one of his big speeches that he gave. And I feel like now when I'm in a game and I might get down, that's something that I'll definitely think about. Why not us? Why not here? Why not now?
I love Coach Bramlett. He always has that hard nose kind of work ethic, and really, since the moment I met him, was always stand up man and just high character. Is really one of the things that I think about when I think about Coach Bramlett. High character guy, trying to get the athletes to really buy in and play the right way, play for each other, play for Brookwood and each other.
Yes, sir.
Well, William, have you always played football? Have you always played offensive line, or kind of give us a little bit of your athletic background for people who are unfamiliar with you?
So I started playing football, tackle football, when I was 4.
Okay.
And I've been a big kid all my life. So I've been on the O-line, D-line all my life. So, I mean, it was at one point, I was super young. I think right when I first started, I was 4. So I didn't really want to play football when I was that young. But, like, 2 conversations, 2 laps later around the football field, my dad still has me playing football. So I look back now, and I'm definitely thankful for that. Like, he didn't let me give up, didn't let me quit. And, like, now I'm truly, blessed with these opportunities that I've been given.
Well, a lot of people may not realize, but your father is actually sheriff or co-sheriff over at Brookwood. He's high up in the police force, correct?
No, sir. He's actually a lieutenant in the of the county.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I knew he was in law enforcement, so I was going to ask you about that. How does having a law enforcement father or having a parent who's in law enforcement kind of instill discipline or really keep you driving? How does that work for you at 17 years old, growing up in a law enforcement household?
So I don't really think it's the law enforcement part. It's definitely the military part.
Okay.
My dad was in the military for 21 years, retired, and then ended up in law enforcement. So however he was before the law enforcement, he's definitely still that same way.
All right.
So I mean, he's always been, a orderly type of guy, a stern, headstrong guy, and like he definitely has instilled some core values in me with those, as well as my mom, like being the Christian woman she is, definitely instilled some great values in me.
You talk about core values from your parents. What would you say, from both sides, mother and father, what would you say are maybe 2 or 3, maybe a handful of the biggest core values that they've instilled in you?
Stick strong to my faith. Stick strong to myself. Make sure I'm always confident in my decisions and always be on time.
All three huge, and I'm sure with the father's background, if you're on time, you're late, you got to be 5 minutes early, that sort of thing.
Sir.
You exuded that for the listeners who cannot see us. William was in our little green room a couple of minutes before our show started. Will, I got to give you a gold star for that because you're the first guest who's jumped on before 1 p.m. Most everybody's getting in there at 1:02, 1:03, and it's no big deal for me, but I'm like, oh sweet, he's ready to go. I'm pumped up for that. I appreciate that.
Of course, thank you.
Well, how have you taken that sort of these values, and really implemented them into your athletic endeavors?
I know for a fact, staying strong in my faith, making sure I give thanks. I haven't been so strong on that until here recently, making sure now that like everything's going on and make people on the outside looking in, they can see like I haven't lost my way or anything like that. And then like I'm still staying close to God, and like that's a big thing. And then staying true to myself. Like there's be times when like you're on the field and you might get a little angry or in your feelings or something like that, and may lose the reason, may lose your why. But trying to stay calm under pressure, trying to stay strong in the reasons you're there. And then I try to be on time, but like sometimes things happen. But
of course.
Fact, when it comes to school or practice, or the very important things, even not so important things to other people, like or maybe me, I always try to make sure I show the respect that my commitment was given to. So try to make sure if I told somebody I'll be there, in a reasonable manner.
Well, you've been absolutely stand up with me, so I can absolutely confirm that. From my experience, I really appreciate that. What is William, outside of football, do you have any interests that really keep you motivated or just bring you joy? What kind of things do you enjoy outside of football? Because in the next 4 years, you're going to be hammered with just football. You got to have a couple of things that are allowed you to take your mind off the game. What kind of things do you enjoy outside of football?
Of course, I'm 17, so I hang out with my friends.
Of course.
I mean, football at some point, people say it feels like a chore. And I mean, there are fun chores out there. So I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a chore, but it's a great thing to do. So I'm not really ever looking for anything to take my mind off of it. But I will say, like, I do football. Aside from football, though, hang out with my friends. I play pickup every now and then. I was on the basketball team, but I didn't try out this year. And then, I sing from time to time. I did musical theater, so stuff like that. Just like little, things here and there.
There you go, bass 2, down on the low end.
Sir,
you singing bass 2 as your part?
I got a decent range.
There you go. That's awesome. I was also I was an average Andy athlete, not like you. I was very, very average, but I also sang as well in the men's choir. So I had no colleges coming after me like you. Will, what do you? I mean, when you think about Brookwood, in the last 3 years, I've seen the Panthers run a triple option. I've seen the Panthers run kind of a spread scheme last season. What does the versatility, or what do those different schemes kind of do for you as an offensive lineman as you develop your game?
I mean, different years comes different teams, comes different people. And sometimes, when you're in the spring or the summer, something you ran the previous season may not work with this upcoming team.
Right.
So, I mean, especially as an offensive lineman, that helps me with my versatility at the next level. I ran a few different offenses. So, no matter what school I can go to, I should be able to easily adapt to the offense they are currently running. And even with that, if they do end up changing their offense, I'll be okay to change. Changing doesn't bother me. Change doesn't, affect me. I've had 3 different coaches the past 3 years. This will be the first year I have a consistent coach, like offensive line coach. So I'm really looking forward to that. So, I mean, versatility, nothing's wrong with, having a broad, list of capabilities.
Can you tell me? I know Ronnie Clark. Ronnie Clark is on the Brookwood Panthers roster. Former Alabama football player, running back. Where does he fit in with the Brookwood coaching staff, and how does he help you guys? I just want to know where he fits in, what his role is with Brookwood.
He's a young, coach, but he's a running back coach.
Okay.
Not only that, he's definitely like the team hot man. He keeps us, live. He helps us speed and agility, stuff like that. And he's been in our shoes the most recent. He's gotten to that level. He's gotten to where we all want to be. And he helps us remember where we want to go. He helps us remember this stuff isn't for the kids that are just laying, eating Cheetos when they could be out getting work. We're just spending 12 hours a day on their Xbox. Like, he tells us this stuff isn't, he tells us this stuff isn't easy. He tells us it's going to be hard. He tells us it's going to be some trials and some upsets and some downfalls we're going to have to endure. But he also reminds us that through all that he's our coach, that they're our coaches, and that they're going to have our backs, that they're going to put us in the best situation, the best position to do what we have to do, and that's win.
How has his experience going through the recruiting and playing high-level college football here at the University of Alabama, how has his experience really helped you guys, or given you all someone to really rely on? How does he really help you guys in the guidance process going through your high school careers and then into college?
The older guys definitely take to him more than the younger guys do. That's only because, they aren't so used to him or not knowing him yet. And when I say older guys, I mean even the ones I met that have only known him for 2 years, when they were when they were juniors and seniors or juniors, it's just something about that connection that he can easily get with anyone. Like, he was an Alabama football player, so why not listen to him? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not take gold from someone who's just giving you gold?
Of course, absolutely. And really, he was there. He's seen it all. Golly, he was at the tail end of DeBow, or at the tail end of Shula, and then at the very beginning of Saban. So he is just a wealth of knowledge. Last year when I looked at him on the sidelines, I said, I recognize him. Where do I know him from? Where do I know? And then when I met him after the game to interview him, he said, "Oh, Coach Clark," and then it clicked with me. I was like, "That's Ronnie Clark." So just impressive and cool to see him giving back to the high school kids and really pouring back into you guys.
Is there?
William, let's transition to kind of what you've been up to. I mean, look, you've been. We'll be honest. I look through the recruiting rankings and I see Will Sanders, 3-star prospect, but then I see a lot of colleges, the who's who colleges, most recently LSU, Alabama, and Mississippi State, please correct me if there are more or others more recently, have offered you scholarships. And so, people see the star rating, 3-star, but then they see the big time prospects. And that, in my mind, I click, oh, they just don't know Brookwood, Alabama. They haven't come here and seen him. They just haven't really seen what he really can be. How do you reconcile that in your heart or in your brain when you're seeing, okay, I think I'm a pretty good time prospect, and I think I will have some big time offers, but you haven't really received national recognition?
The recognition doesn't matter if you did the things to earn the blessings. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I earned anything, but I'm saying if I have the offers, me being a 3-star doesn't matter to me. And even before the offers, a 3-star was just a number, was just a ranking, was just something that people did to have a part in recruits, journey. And I mean, of course, I would love to be a 4 or 5-star. That'd be great. But I mean, a star's a star, recognition's recognition. And if I just haven't done enough in those people's eyes, then I just haven't done enough. But I also try to let people know that, like, I'm not going to get complacent. I'm not going to, be satisfied. Am I working to be a 4-star, 5-star? Not necessarily. I'm just working to be the best me I can be. So if that doesn't get recognized, or if that's not where I am yet, or if that's not enough yet, then so be it. Then I'll just keep working. But, the not getting the national recognition has never been a problem. The people that need to recognize me and the people that need to notice me have already noticed me and have definitely been in my corner.
I think that's a great perspective, because you're exactly right. I mean, it'd be great to be number one prospect, this, that, or the other, but as long as you have the scholarship offer from where you want to go to, or the right school that fits you, I think it's going to be great. I'll further on that topic. Have you gotten out to a lot of camps, or have you mostly spent your time going to universities to their camps? Because I'm still new on kind of the recruiting aspect of things, but I imagine they get a lot of the 24/7 on 3. They're getting a lot of their evaluations from those national camps. Am I right?
So I went to one Rivals camp.
Okay.
I got O-line MVP. And then after that, I've been to 3 university camps: LSU, Mississippi State, and Alabama's. Those are the only camps I've done, and those are the only camps I plan on doing. I might go and try to get ranked higher at some of these camps, but like I said, that's not my main focus. So if I do end up going to one of those camps, it'll mainly just be to get better.
It's a pretty good track record. I'm going to go to Alabama, LSU, and Mississippi State camp, and then walk away with an offer from. I believe you walked away with an offer from all 3. So pretty nice little track record. That's you're doing pretty well. Will, as an offensive lineman and a leader on the Brookwood Panthers, are you leading the charge when it comes to food for your guys? What's the Will Sanders go to? Like, I gotta have this pregame meal so I can go out there and deliver some pancakes on Friday night.
Okay, so it's super weird.
No, I love it. Go for it.
But I started it last summer before camp, and it depends on my mood, but I have to get it. I have to eat candy before a game, and I'll be chill. I'll be cool. I'll be ready to go, and I do it for camps too, and I'll be there, and I'm wild. But like, if I got the right candy, like, of course, I did everything I got to do. Hydrated. Got ready for it, so my body can be able to eat candy. But like, if I get some of that before a game, I'm either real calm and I can go ball out, or I'm really hyped and I'm still going to ball out. One of the two. What's
the candy of choice, or what's the couple candies of choice?
Honestly, it's been so wild, so sporadic here. I really can't tell you.
Okay, all right. I was a big peanut M&Ms bag of peanut M&Ms before my wrestling matches in high school. Okay. After you make weight. Have some peanut M&Ms, then go out there and try to win. I won, 50-50, something like that.
Yes, sir.
So what was your experience like at Alabama? Well, actually, we'll do Alabama last because, build up and make the people wait. Let's do State first. What was your experience at Mississippi State? And then we'll talk about LSU and then Alabama. Build up to the Crimson Tide. What was your experience like at camp at Mississippi State over at Starkville?
So actually, when I went to the LSU camp, I pulled my hamstring. So when I went to the Mississippi State camp, they're like, look, man, I texted Coach Frank. He was like, look, man, you ain't got it. You don't have to camp. Just come to campus. And I was like, okay, great. So I went to campus, and I was chilling. I was watching camp a little bit, talked to Coach Arnett. He was like, look, man, I just want to tell you I have an offer. And I was like, oh, great, awesome. So Coach Friend was at the Auburn camp last year, and he was like real comfortable with the way I was working and stuff like that. He just wanted me to get bigger.
Sure.
That's what a lot of people's concern was. I didn't get bigger. I wasn't getting bigger. And so last year I was around 6'1", 275 or 280. And then he saw me this year and I was like 6'3" and 295. So I was like, I got a little bit bigger. I got a little taller, a little bigger. So the campus was a great experience. Coach Friend's a great guy. Coach Arnett's an awesome guy. O-line coaches, O-line staff there, just, amazing. I had a solid time, really felt welcome, really felt comfortable there.
Well, how that leads me. How's the hamstring now? I mean, you were at LSU camp 2 weeks ago, correct? 3. Let's see.
I think it was. What's today?
Today Friday? Is Friday the 9th.
It was
Friday
1 week.
Well, okay, so how's the hamstring now?
It hurts a little bit. It's a little sore, but like I'm getting my flexibility back, my range of motion back. So now they're just worried about my strength in it. That's about it.
And plenty of time till August. We'll get back there and we'll be at 100%. That's what's up.
For sure.
That's what's up. Oh, can you tell the people about Eric Wolford? There's been a lot made over the last 3 years about the Alabama offensive line. I'm sure living right next to Tuscaloosa, you've seen it. You've heard about the Brian Robinson year. The offensive lineman couldn't really get a whole lot of push for B-Rob, and Bryce Young been running for his life for a couple years. So they changed offensive line coaches to Eric Wolford, and this will be his second year. What's your relationship like currently with Coach Wolford, and really what was it like working at the Alabama camp?
I mean, Coach Wolford's just been a great guy. He's been steady communicating with me, and I talk to him. Great phone calls. He's a funny guy, and he's a straightforward guy. He's been shooting me straight from the get-go. He was like, come back, gain weight. I gained the weight. Come back, take creatine, glutamine. I started taking that. He's like, oh, wow, okay, great. He's like, you done everything I've asked. Now come to camp and ball out, and you know what's going to happen next.
Hell
and I was like, okay, you've been shooting me straight this long. I'm going to keep trusting you. I'm going to keep rocking with you. And lo and behold, of course, like he said this whole time, it came to fruition. So I was just super happy about that. But like I said, the visits I think I went to 4 games this past season. Talking to him, just seeing him every time, it was just great.
What do you like about the style of play for Alabama? I mean, obviously Alabama's changing to Tommy Rees, but it's still the Alabama offense under a new coordinator. What do you like about the style of play that Alabama really has up front of the offensive line?
Execution. I mean, it just seems like big guys moving together, And of course, when you get to certain levels, you're going to see that everywhere. But especially being able to see them practice before, the way that they move together and interact with each other, just, I just feel like that'll translate on the field even better. But, it's a whole bunch of big guys just working together, just being people movers, doing what they got to do. And no matter what, it seems like they can just adapt, They just develop their linemen to what they need. And the linemen, once they buy in, it's a lot easier.
Alabama last season pulled in they pulled out a huge offensive line class, but one of the offensive linemen was 2023 prospect Wilkin Formby out of Northridge High School. Being local guys, I'm sure you guys know each other or at least have some sort of relationship. Has Wilkin given you any insight, or have you guys talked at all about being a local player coming to play for the Tide? It's got to have an extra layer of pressure with it, does it not?
So we haven't talked about that specifically. But we have talked. I have asked him a few questions about how he felt about, being at Bama and how the process was for him. And even before that, I've trained with him, I think, once or twice. And he was just like, man, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you go, what you do. Ball is ball. It doesn't matter if you're a local person or, you come from 5 hours away. The stamp that you want to leave and the stamp that you create is going to be the stamp that they remember you by.
100%. So with all this kind of being the setup, Will, is Alabama basically the goal, or are you still kind of playing out the recruiting process, going to go back to LSU for a visit, Mississippi State for a visit, and see what else is out there? Where does things stand with Will Sanders?
The goal's the goal. The criteria is the criteria. The level's the level. I want to be the best of the best, play with the best of the best in the best conference there is. And where that is, we're going to find out. But I will say I'm not sure about any more visits, but I do know that as the days go by, I'm talking, I'm thinking, checking my boxes off, and I'm trying to figure out where would be the best place for Will, where would be the best place for William, and where will I end up at to make that possibility a possibility.
I'm sorry, I've been calling you Will this whole time. Is it William officially? I'm sorry, I've been
So
messing that up.
it's either or. My name's William, but like Will or William's fine.
What do you want the announcers to call you? Because that's what we'll call you when you get up on Sunday Night Football. Offensive lineman William Sanders. Is that what we want?
Yes, sir.
All right, bet. I want to keep it with what you like, out of respect and all that stuff. So that's great. So William, I mean, you still got plenty of time. Early signing day is in December, and then you 10 months away from the February late signing day. Official signing day. Is there anything outside of football, outside non-football related, that you're taking into that's really important to you, that you're taking into your college considerations?
Of course, field has to be a big thing, but most importantly, education. I went to what was it called? Junior Vision Days for like academics and stuff with my school. I found this major kinesiology, and like I've just definitely looked into that. So from the way I put it to people, that kinesiology seems like an easier biology, and not trying to find the easy way out or anything, but for what I'm trying to do, that would just make that a lot easier. Want to be a personal trainer, athletic trainer,
right? Yeah.
Maybe do chemistry, biokinetics, one of those two. But like just looking into that, and I talked to one of my coaches. He's doing the same thing, and he said, it just depends on what you want to do. And kinesiology will determine which path you take.
William, that's amazing, because any science thing that I didn't have to take, I was like, nope, I'll read, I'll do the math, but anything science related, no, sir, I don't have the brain for that. That's incredible. And you're exactly right. It's not going to be an easy path, but it will put you on the path of taking care of bodies and give you a lot of wisdom. That's awesome, man. That's great.
Right.
William, I've really enjoyed our time here these last 25-30 minutes. Let's wrap it up by kind of just previewing the 24 Brookwood season. As you know, you're going to play left tackle, I'm sure, or on the right side.
I'm on both, but guard.
Okay, great. Are we still going to be playing the kind of spread kind of pro-style offense that you ran last year?
Something like that. I think it'll change again, mainly because just to make it easier on us.
Yeah.
But I know it won't be like super big changes. It's definitely just small things.
Well, I'm looking at the schedule for this coming up season, and I'm seeing, a great schedule where you guys can make some noise again. How great would it be to really take this a 4-year period and put another, ladder rung up, whether you get into the playoffs or not, but just add to the win total and keep Brookwood going in a positive direction this your final season?
That'll mean everything, of course I want to make it to the playoffs. Of course I want to make it as far as we can. But if I can just contribute to, once again, just getting better, then that's all I can ask for. As long as I can, keep laying that foundation for the ones that are coming up behind me, that's all I truly ask for. That's all I truly want.
Well, you've been super gracious with your time, and you've given the audience and myself some great answers today, William. I really appreciate it. The last question is obvious, and you don't have to answer it, but do you have a timeline? Do you have a thought process of when you may make your college decision?
July or August.
July or August. All right. Alabama fans will be looking for it. LSU and Mississippi State fans will be as well. Everybody's going to be trying to get in your mentions and your DMs, that sort of thing, and sway you to their colleges. William, this has been a blast. I look forward to watching you this fall. I'll be out at more Brookwood games, and I look forward to really covering the rest of your recruitment and hopefully into your college career and hopefully a long, successful pro career as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
William, you are awesome. I hope you have a great day.
Yes, sir. You too.
Yes, sir. That's William Sanders, class of 2024, offensive lineman for Brookwood High School. He's already received offers from Alabama, LSU, and Mississippi State. He joined us to kind of give us a rundown of. Look, let's be honest. Brookwood has been a struggling program. I will be. He's no stranger to that. He knows that. He's lived it. 4 wins last year, 3 the year prior. That's 7. He's got 8 wins in 3 years at Brookwood High School. But look, what positivity! What positivity out of the young man. And I echo everything that he said about Mike Bramlett. Mike Bramlett is a great coach, holds his players to, a high standard of discipline and a high standard of execution. Brookwood's just got to get some more athletes out there. That's the only thing that they're that's kind of holding them back from taking that next step up there and competing in 6A. I think that they've got a coaching staff and a structure altogether that is, that can sustain it and have some success. All right, so I don't want to cut the episode off right there at 30 minutes. We got about 10, 15, 20 more minutes to kind of talk about some more things that are going on in Alabama football and in Alabama athletics as a whole. All right, let's start with something fun. Let's start with something off the wall. Eric Anders is fighting this coming up weekend. Eric Anders fighting against a Canadian who's not running. Eric Anders is taking on Marc-Andre. Oh gosh, his name is Marc-Andre Barriault. He's Canadian. He's French Canadian, and they're obviously fighting up there in Canada. You know Eric Anders. If you don't remember him, look up your history books. You know Eric Anders from the game-sealing sack fumble on not Colt McCoy, but the backup quarterback. The backup quarterback was not Colt McCoy. Not Haynes King. Why is Haynes King coming into my mind? Garrett Gilbert. Garrett Gilbert was the backup quarterback. So the sack fumble on Garrett Gilbert at the end of the 2009 Rose Bowl that really Alabama scored right after that and basically won Nick Saban's first national championship. Eric Anders, the hero of that game. Well, Anders spent a little bit of time in some NFL camps, and then basically that didn't work out for him, so he decided, I want to get into MMA. Well, my man's is up to 15... he's up to almost 15. He is up to 15 UFC fights at 185 and 205. My man's is 15-7 overall, so he's 7-7. He's 7-7-1 in the UFC. So look, on Saturday, if you're looking for something to do, it might cost you. Maybe you look for a pirate stream. You can see Eric Anders. He's leading off the main card, UFC 289. Yes, it's going to be Charles Oliveira on the card. He's a former lightweight champion. Yes. So look. Eric Anders, he's going to be fighting a guy. They're going to stand up and bang the entire time. They're going to look at each other in the face and basically see who knocks each other out first. I think that both guys will look to stay on their feet. And I think Eric Anders' wrestling will keep it on its feet. And so, my man Will Miller always giving me the great MMA insight. He and I are in agreement. We see an Eric Anders TKO victory in strikes in the second round, essentially. So that'll be fun on Saturday night. I'm looking forward to watching Eric Anders compete. But look, Saturday's going to be a huge day here in Alabama. Well, in North Carolina and Alabama. Alabama's going up to Wake Forest to take on the number one Demon Deacons in a super regional matchup. Look, our guys Will Miller and Austin Hannon are already up there. Covering the events, and you've already got your starting pitcher. Obviously tomorrow, Luke Holman, shocker, the Friday night starter is going to start the series. I think that's going to be perfect. He's starting the series. Look, all the games are early, so it'll be Saturday at 11. Sunday at 11, and then the Monday game is unannounced if necessary. I think Alabama can go up there and win. Look, the Tide, we've talked about it this week. We've talked about it last week with Andy Phillips. We've talked about it this week. You play in the SEC. There's no place that's going to get you. There's no place that's going to be intimidating. You go play at Duty Noble Stadium. You play over at Florida. You play down at LSU. You've been in the who's who environments and played against the who's who teams this season. So does Wake look really daggum good? Yes, they do. That's obvious. They look really daggum good. But Alabama has the tools and has the ability to, I think, pull the upset and get themselves to Omaha. And just imagine where the Alabama fan base is going to be if Alabama ends up and finds themselves in Omaha at the end of the weekend. Oh my gosh. Well, I know my man Austin Hannon and Will Miller will be losing their minds out of the opportunity to go to Omaha just to cover the event. One thing that Will Sanders talked about, one thing that he brought up that I didn't want to piggyback off of then because I didn't want to steal his time, but he said, I was asking about things that he does to take his mind off of football. And he's like, what we do, it's a chore, but it's not really a chore. And I was thinking, dude, the same thing. I'm doing a chore right here, but it's not really a chore. It's a lot of fun to talk to the people about Alabama football, Alabama athletics as a whole, just all kinds of sports. So I really appreciate Will Sanders joining me in the early part of the hour. I want to let you know we're going to have Amari Jefferson. Amari Jefferson is going to join us on Tuesday. Amari Jefferson, you say, who is that? He is the class of 2024 wide receiver out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Who's from Chattanooga? Oh, that's me. I'm from Chattanooga. Got a nice connection there to bring in Amari Jefferson. He's a 4-star wide receiver out of Baylor High School, the Red Raiders, and he is coming to the University of Alabama on an official visit this weekend. Amari Jefferson is already a Tennessee baseball commit, so he's already a hell of an athlete, and it seems like he's kind of weighing the Tennessee commitment between the University of Georgia and the University of Alabama football scholarship offers to play wide receiver. The 6'1", 195-pound receiver is going to join us on Tuesday, and that will be after his visit. He's visiting Tuscaloosa this weekend, along with several other players. It's the second big weekend of the year here in Tuscaloosa. You got seven official visitors on the football side of things. Let's see. I don't think there it is. Yes, my article did update. Good. Jordan Seaton from Washington, D.C. obviously is the biggest name. Corian Gibson, cornerback out of Lancaster, Texas. DeMello Jones, a safety out of Swainsboro, Georgia. DeMello Jones is actually committed already to Georgia, but he's coming to Alabama on an official visit. Daniel Calhoun, Arian Hampton, Amari Jefferson, and Isaiah Fega are all coming to Alabama this weekend on official visits. Isaiah Fega is out of Phoenix City, Alabama, and he's already committed to the Utah Utes. So hopefully we will be able to see a successful weekend on the recruiting front. Alabama bringing in several guys on official visits. We'll talk to Amari Jefferson on Tuesday about his visit, and I am so looking forward to that. I want to go back and thank Ronnie Cottrell for the millionth time, because I think he's going to set us up with Sterling Dixon, the 2024 edge linebacker, inside linebacker that's committed to the University of Alabama, and we'll continue to try to bring on recruits, coaches, different guests that are involved with the Alabama program or might be involved with the Alabama program down the line. One more topic before we get out of here for the day. One more before we get out of here. Grant Bleepin Nelson, my man's. I think he's going to come to Alabama. I do. No, do I have insider knowledge? No, I got to make that clear. I do not have insider knowledge on Grant Nelson's commitment, but from whispers, from tweets, from texts that I have heard that his visit was very, very positive, and you know, we talked about it with Blake Byler yesterday. The fit here at Alabama is perfect, and the playing time, the ability to come right in and step in to play on a starting role, I think is you can't put a price on it. You can say, I'll give you $100,000 NIL deal, I'll give you $800,000 NIL, whatever. You can put the number at whatever, but you cannot put a price on playing time. So I expect Grant Nelson, I expect his news to hit sometime before the end of the weekend, that Grant Nelson's going to be a member of this Alabama Crimson Tide basketball team in 2023. So it's been a fun week. I had a blast with Ronnie Cottrell. I had a blast with Blake Byler. I had a blast with William Sanders. You better use the proper name, William Sanders. I should have called him Bill just to see what he would react to that. But that was a lot of fun today. If you want to go see William Sanders or follow him on the Twitter machine, you can at WillSanders70. At WillSanders70 on Twitter. Send him your love. Tell him that you enjoyed the interview if you did, or tell him that I'm a bozo if you think that I'm a bozo. That's A-okay too. Whatever you think is no problem. Look, as we get out of here for the day, we're setting up next week. I want to let you know that you need to be listening to all things Bama and Blue Collar Unplugged, both of the other podcasts on the Bama Central Broadcasting Network. We appreciate Chris Walsh for putting us on each and every day. You can follow him at Writing Walsh. Make sure you follow all of our coverage at BamaCentral.com. If it has anything related to the university, we're covering it. We're writing about it on BamaCentral.com. So for me, it's been a great week. It's been a lot of fun. We're saying goodbye, and we'll be back with you on Monday right here on The Joe Gaither Show.